What's up, people? This your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of the Humble Dad podcast. It's going to be a great episode as usual, but tonight have a special guest that has caught the attentions of many people with his charisma as well as his uh, honest and authentic self. And he's a father and a husband, and he really wants people to do well as it relates to building relationships. And I just like the realness of him. And tonight's going to be one of those nights. We're going to have some fun, but also at the same time, we're going to keep it real. And it's none other than Mr. Quest.
What up, Humble Dad? What's happening?
I'm good, bro. Listen, let me ask you this. How did it feel to be voted on to get you an emoji, bro?
Yo, so that's crazy. Like my wife, she hit me up last night, like right before we go to bed, and she was like, "I voted for you." I was like, "Oh, you voted on the little emoji thing?" She was like, "Yeah, I voted on the emoji thing." I was like, "All right, cool." Now it was dope hearing Jr. put that up on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what's up. What's up,
yeah, it's like
Mr.
it's just one of them little things where you done put your time in. You know what I'm saying? And the chat ninjas really respect it. You know what I'm saying? So
That's a fact. Because you was
yeah.
at like 44%, bro.
Yeah, hey, shout out to my chat ninjas, boy. They really rocking with your boy, man.
That's what's up, man. So, hey, listen, we're going to get into it just like this. So, first question I always ask is, what do you feel like the difference between a father and a dad is?
Yeah, so I deliberated on this for a minute, um, and I think the biggest difference is like a father is an actual leader, right? And then I go back to my tutelage in the military, and then even prior to the military, those who were my father figures and things of that nature. But the military really like drives it home, right? And the military definition of leadership is the process of influencing people, which in this case we're talking about our children, by providing purpose, direction, and motivation, right, while operating to accomplish a mission. The mission in this particular case is the child being a contributor to society, being grooming them to be a great father or daughter. I mean, excuse me, grooming them to be a good father or mother, a good husband or wife, and then just like I said, a contributor to the society at large, and then to accomplish the mission and improve the organization. The organization is our family, our household,
Okay.
and then, like I said, the community at large, man. So it's just, I mean, from being a leader for so long in the military, it's just that's what closely relates for me as far as that definition of being a father. It's just really just being a leader.
That's what's up. So, what would you say? So, would you say a dad is not a leader? Or would you, like, how would you break that down?
I, I'm be honest, I don't think so. I mean, in my head, a dad is just somebody who's just there, maybe who is the bearer of the seed, right? It's the guy who gave up the seed, kid pops out, right?
Yeah.
And you don't really have any value whatsoever. You don't have any addition to the child as far as grooming them, or any of the things like I described in my definition of what a father is. You're the one who shot the club up. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but
For sure. The reason why I asked that question is just to kind of get the conversation started, because I never even thought about it until I actually asked the question. And interviewing so many different dads, everybody has a different perspective, because some people would flip that, and it's to each their own, right? But the goal is ultimately is how you raising your kids to be better versions of yourself.
right.
Hopefully you want them to be better than you, and therefore you're leading them in such a way that they will be.
Clearly, yeah, that's all I want from mine.
For sure. So let's take it back to, like you said, leaders in the military, but I want to take it back to when Quest was a young tadpole, like, middle school, sixth, seventh, eighth grade. Tell us a little bit about yourself at that time, and who would you say was your father figures?
So I actually know my father, and we have a very rocky roller coastery relationship
Okay.
since his early as I can remember. Um, so I'll say this: the older I get, the more I can pull from the things that my father taught me. Right.
Hmm.
So that person that was like consistent, and it was like the highest level of respect that I had for this man, because he didn't have to yell, he didn't have to scream, he didn't have to hit me, and it was just a level of respect there, was my Uncle Willie. You know, my late Uncle Willie, you know, God rest his soul. He was the most consistent. I was always over there, and my cousin, hanging out with my cousins and things like that. And I have two. So my Uncle Willie married to my Auntie Gail, right? My Auntie Gail is my mom's sister. Okay.
Right.
I used to go over there all the time to hang out with my little cousins, or my older cousins actually, but they called me little big cousin. But anyway, I would hang out with them all the time, and I mean, just really just sitting back and just, I don't know, just being present while my Uncle Willie was around, being him, and just moving how I still envision how men should move. Right? It's just.
Can you break that down for me? Like, what is that? Like, to the person that can't see that, what does that look like?
That's the guy that doesn't complain. That is the guy that works until his knuckles are bloody. That's the guy who he won't stop until the job is done. He is the patriarch of the family. He is the leader of his household. And it's so much. I could go on for hours with this guy, man. You know what I mean? Like, just an example. He's the guy who is accountable when it comes to his health. The guy will go and run. This is at 70 years old. He'll go out here and run 5 miles and smoke. A lot of y'all out there smoke y'all. I remember going to the court with my Uncle Willie to play basketball, and he is beating the brake dust off of everybody on the court. And he's the oldest man on the court. So he was accountable when it came to his fitness. He was accountable when it came to his eating and things of that nature. You didn't really see Uncle Willie eating wild crap. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, paying attention to him like that, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
What makes you do? Go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah, and that's not to take away from my actual father, because my father also was very disciplined as well. My father is 8th degree black belt in a martial arts discipline. You know, he worked for the fire department for 23 years and retired. You know what I mean? When he retired, he didn't have to go work for anybody else, which is kind of, like I said, the older I get, which you'll dig into later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the older I get, I can respect things that I learned from my father. Some of it was things that he wasn't necessarily teaching, he was just doing. And then some of the things he was actually vocally out of his mouth teaching, I can respect a little bit more now.
But that's what's up. So as a 13, 14-year-old, like, what type of person would you say that you were to be able to be paying attention to that? Because I would say that that's the time that teenagers really need to be cultivated, in that middle school time. So what kind of helped you gravitate to even, let me ask it like this. At that particular point in time, were you trying to learn, or do you feel like it was later on, looking back, that you learned these things?
No, I think I've always been very, very observant. Like, very, very observant when I was young, like 13 years old. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say, like, I was a sponge back then. Okay. I was absorbing everything. But I definitely gravitated towards the men that I was like, y'all are different from others, right? And not just my Uncle Willie and my dad. Like, there were other men that were around. I'm like, yeah, y'all are different. Wow. Y'all are regular. Y'all are different, right? And I would like take and gravitate towards those like qualities that I'm seeing in these different people and these different men.
That's what's up. Did you have brothers and sisters?
So no.
Okay.
My mama raised me in the church.
Okay.
So, you know, I don't really look around with the church like that now, but like back then, I was in the church. Like, I was that kid that was there like 4 times a week. You know what I mean? Sunday morning, Sunday evening, Wednesday, and then like a Tuesday or Thursday or Friday or something like that. So,
man, that sounds like choir practice, deaconess meeting.
Bro, listen to me. right? So I was in there a lot, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I say this, there were a lot of good men in the church, a lot of good men that were in that church, in the church where I grew up.
Okay. So, oh, I'm sorry, you was
No,
finished.
go ahead.
So, okay, so now we move to the quest that's in high school. So talk to me about the quest in high school. Take me through a story that you remember one of your mentors or your dad or your uncle provided you some insight on life or just the game in general that kind of stuck with you.
So I think high school was a little different,
Okay.
right?
All right.
I was getting like reckless in high school. I
Um,
was I wasn't the greatest kid. Let me just say it. Let me just be upfront with that. I
okay.
wasn't the greatest kid, especially in high school. Like I was in summer school all 4 years of high school, right?
Okay.
Like when it came time for graduation, like I walked across the stage when everybody got their diploma. Mine was just a blank sheet of paper, and I had to go to summer school afterwards, right? Like
Okay.
I hated school. This is when a time when me and my dad really, really fell off. Like pretty much throughout my entire high school years.
Um,
And I was really like kind of relying on, my Uncle Willie. But you know, he's not there all the time. Yes, I'm back and forth to his house and things of that nature or whatever, because we live in the same city more or less. But I was just kind of running a little wild. Like I was
mm.
doing all kind of stuff that like my mom didn't know I was doing. It's just, yeah, I was a little wild child. So
So what was it? Was somebody say it again? I'm sorry.
things definitely started slipping in high school for sure.
So who was so was there some, so you wasn't listening to anybody at that particular point in time? Would
I
you say?
mean, I had to listen to my mom, and I was actually like, so here's the thing: I was a respectful kid. I wasn't disrespectful, so I was listening. It's just I wasn't, I don't know, holding on to what it was that they were saying.
Yeah.
I just kind of just out here doing my own thing, like at school and things of that nature. But when you talk to me, I wasn't disrespectful
Yeah.
to adults. It was always respect, but
But just that coming to, I feel like I know a little bit better, or just a matter of how teenagers are. It's like, this is what it is. You say what you want to say, but I'm gonna do what I want to do.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There
it's
you
kind
go.
of coming into that mode of I feel like I'm the adult, or I feel like I know what's going to be best for me.
There you go.
Now, what would you say to your old self if you were the father of you? Not necessarily like, yeah, if you were as you are now talking to your others to you when you was when you was high school, talking to them not from a brother standpoint, but from a father standpoint, what are some words that you would probably try to tell yourself if you could think of any?
Oh man, don't have any kids out of wedlock.
Okay, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
have any kids out of wedlock. Yes.
You want to expound on that?
What's that?
You want to expound on that? Because the reason why I asked, you don't
I'm
have to, you don't have to, but I'm
no,
asking.
I'm sure we will.
Okay.
But like, that's probably the biggest one, right?
Okay.
Because like I turned out right, okay. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing really well for myself. My family is doing really well right now.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the trials and tribulations that I went through younger, from high school, even transitioning into the military, there was a lot of trials and tribulations there as well. When I first transitioned, like it was worth it in the long run.
Mm.
So standing back right now, being in the position I am as a father, speaking to my younger self, I would just say, don't have kids out of wedlock. Everything else, just let the natural progression happen, because I
Mm.
turned out all right.
The reason why I asked that is because like the when we talking on King Talk, there's or even on the Thursday show or some shows, like in the comment sections, dudes be acting like we talking about something that don't make sense when we be telling these dudes to do their best to abstain from just rocking with any chick, right, or just putting your thing in any woman, right? They like I've looked at the comment section, and before you came on, they would tell me that I was too old fashioned, that I ain't really know what I was talking. This is what they're saying. I ain't know what I'm talking about. I've been too far out of the game. Uh, and so hearing you say don't have kids out of wedlock, telling your young self that, do you think that things would have turned out differently? Because the guys that we talk to now, seems like I'll say half of them, maybe I don't know, feel like what we're saying is wrong to say. So why would you say that makes sense? Consider you still turned out how you turned out.
So there was a bit of a discussion about this in the chat. There was a couple dudes that were on the live chat the other day, going back and forth, or yesterday going back and forth, and there was like, I don't think they understood what I was saying. And basically what I'm getting at is, please have fun, young men, right? Because that is a part of your development, but be responsible while you are having fun. When I say have fun, I mean, protect yourself. One, that's priority. You have to protect yourself. And two, be honest and do a little vetting when it comes to the women that you are, that you are having sexual relations with, right?
Yeah.
Vet, be honest, and protect yourself. That's what I preach, because there was a time that I didn't do that. Now, some of the folks that watch, in the chat or whatever, the chat ninjas, you know what I'm saying? They may think I'm trying to glorify my past, and not. It's a way of telling you, don't do this. And I think I've been abundantly clear on what I don't want young men to do. To suggest that they not have sex at all until they're married, I think that's a little unrealistic. You know what I mean? So that's why I say, if you are out here doing this, protect yourself. Don't lie, right? Because women find it actually refreshing when you don't lie and you can keep it above. And then two, make sure you're doing a little bit of vetting, with these particular women. There are women that are out there that look like they should be slept with that you should not be sleeping with. Just saying, fellas. So, I don't think you're old fashioned at all, Humble. That is just a matter of like, is what you're saying realistic? And to me, I think what you're saying is realistic.
That's a bet. So you come to the point of like, I don't know when you had your first. You said you're saying that you had a child out of wedlock.
I did.
So, okay. So would you care to share like was that high school, college, or
no?
How did it work? Did you go from college, right out of high school to the military, or college? Like, what was the transition to get?
Yeah. So the transition was I graduated summer school. And
why are you laughing, bro? You graduated.
Because I mean, it is kind of funny, but I graduated summer school, and then August started at the community college, PBCC, Palm Beach Community College.
Okay.
And barely even went, got zeros the whole first semester, then barely even went. And decided to join the military. I actually joined the military with two of my partners from West Palm Beach. Shout out to y'all boys. Y'all know who y'all are.
That's what's up.
I joined on a buddy program with them, and then we went to basic training together, and then ended up going to the exact same base up at Fort Bragg together, right? Same job, same company, same unit, everything. So,
wow,
that's how that transition went. But what was your question again? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I directed it in a different way because I wanted to see the timeline. Because I'm a linear thinker, so I try to follow the timeline.
Oh yeah.
And it helps me backtrack a little bit better. So as you're getting into the military, then when is the time that your first kid comes?
Okay, so my daughter's birthday is actually super dope, and I think it's because I am terrible with dates. So the man upstairs must have been like, "Here, let me give you some solid dates that's easy to remember." So I joined the military in 2001, right? And my daughter was born 10/10/10. October 10th, 2010. Yeah. Ironically, my son was born 2/22. Kind of dope, you know what I'm saying? 2/22. Yeah, no, I'm serious. I'm telling you, I think somebody looked out like, yo, this dude is terrible with dates. Like, let's tighten him up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so my daughter was born in 10/10/10.
Okay.
So I had been in the military for 9 years at that point.
Oh, okay. Okay. So okay. I'm thinking that it was sooner than that, but no, it was actually the time. Okay, got it. So as this takes us to the point of like being a father. Like these are the questions that when you first heard that the lady was pregnant, what was your thoughts?
Hey, look, I gotta be honest, man. I gotta be honest and I gotta be careful, right?
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to answer. I mean, it doesn't. It's,
No. I mean, I'm on an interview and I don't mind being honest. I just want to handle it with care because I know
yeah,
at some point, my daughter Autumn is gonna end up watching this, right?
I got you. I got you.
So when I first got told, uh, me and her mother weren't together, right? So
Oh, okay.
speaking, so this is why I speak the way I
Okay.
speak, right?
Okay. Okay.
Um, Me and her mom were being very reckless. We weren't even dating or anything of that nature. Um, and it got to a point where it was just like, hey, you know what? Let's just kind of go our separate ways. I'm getting ready to go on this deployment to Jamaica. I'm gonna be gone for like 3-4 months. So let's just kind of go on our separate way. While I was on that deployment in Jamaica, is when I got a Facebook instant message that said, hey, you need to call me. My heart dropped down to my nuts. I'm a dad. I'm gonna just keep it a buck.
Okay.
And because I guess I kind of knew, right?
Okay.
It's like how? Like I just stopped fooling with you, and this is yeah. So when she told me, yeah, it definitely
The
changed
initial
some
response.
things.
So when you get to the point of realizing you're a father, day comes, baby's born. When did the point of like, okay, I'm a dad, I got to take care of my business? When did that kick in?
To be honest with you, it kicked in not the instance that she was born because I was very clear with her mom that, hey, we need to make sure we get a DNA test, right?
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
I was getting busy and you say you weren't getting busy, but I'm like, we're getting a DNA test, right? Because you weren't my girlfriend or anything of that
Which
nature.
every
We're an
dude
item.
should probably do. Like every dude should do that,
Yes,
even
agreed.
even if you're sure.
Right. So she was like, okay, the hospital doesn't do the DNA test. So when Autumn was born, they brought her into the room with me, and I'm holding her, and I just like, oh hey, baby, what's up?
Yeah.
There wasn't a connection or a bond there
Right.
initially.
Yeah.
Um, and then like that's kind of painful. You know what I mean? Like that the first time you grab your kid and it's just not that instant connection because I didn't know if it was mine, right? And my mind was trying to protect me and it was like, don't get attached until you know, right?
I
So
see.
when it was actually because she had a C-section and it actually took her a couple days before she was able to leave the hospital. And when we left, we got in the car and we drove straight to, I think it's the DDC, and got the DNA test. I drive her back to where she's staying, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In the Atlanta area. I get back in my car and that same day I end up driving back to Fort Bragg because I was on leave.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up driving back to Fort Bragg. And that's where I was waiting for the paperwork to come in with the DNA results. When the DNA results came in, that's when it was like, oh shit, like you're a father now. Like you're a
Okay.
dad. And
That makes sense. Okay,
that's when
but
things
that
started
makes sense. Like that's a I can understand the logistics of what it is that you're saying. Q had a question. She calls you question.
Yeah, she called me question because I'm always asking people mad questions on the panels and
Is
stuff
that
like
why
that.
you get? Is that why it has quest and then the blank?
Yeah.
Okay, I got
No, no,
you.
oh no, so that's just my IG handle, the quest and the 4 underscores.
Oh, okay.
She called me question because I be asking everybody
You
a
be
lot of
asking all
questions.
these questions like
Yeah.
Emmanuel. What's your name? Asking all these questions.
I be probing.
That's what's up. She had a question. Let me see. What was this question? She said, do you think the protection aspect doubt comes from what you went through in the military?
Do you think the protection aspect doubt comes from the military. I think I know what she's saying. Like, I'm assuming she's talking about my mom trying to protect me from getting attached. Is that what you're thinking as well, Humble Dad?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I've experienced a lot of pain, like in my military career, like a lot. So maybe it was, my military experiences trying to like protect me. You know what I mean? Maybe that's where that came from.
That's possible.
I never
It
actually thought to dive into that.
That's an interesting thought. But so then you get to the point where like I don't know the relationship, but like what type of father would you say that you were during the process of her growing up?
Wow. So like initially it was smooth. Like the initial years, things were like really, really smooth. I would, pay my child support wherever I thought what we had agreed to. Hadn't gone to court or anything like that. Hadn't even legitimized myself or anything like that. But then there became some rocky times with her mom. So then it was like, all right, I got to get structured, right? Like, I need to go legitimize myself, right? Let's get the child's name changed to my last name. Let's put myself on child support. So like I was making trips back and forth from Fayetteville to the Atlanta area. And then at one point I ended up PCSing or just permanent change of station from Fort Bragg to Eglin Air Force Base, which we had a compound there. And I was traveling from there back and forth, which is in Florida. So from Florida to Atlanta back and forth. And once, we had to start getting a little bit more structured, things changed a lot.
For the better?
I think with me and
was it for daughter, the better?
What's that?
Was it for the better? You said things changed.
So, yes. In the grand scheme of things, yes, it was for the better. But I will say it wasn't as like free come and go. That came a little later.
Okay.
Once I structured myself and she saw I was serious and I wasn't playing around because, there was a reason why I ended up having to do this.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of turmoil there. And I was like, no, I'm not dealing with this. I'm getting structured. But because of the structure, it was like I couldn't just freely come and go.
I see. So there was some pros and some cons to the structure is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but I think the relationship between myself and my daughter was great. And then things got rocky. So.
Okay. That's a bit. So now you move on, right? Or, not move on, but you have the daughter. And then it comes along and you're about to be a dad for the second time, right? Now, can you recall this time? Because I kind of remember all the times that all my kids were, my late wife, Jen, she would be like, okay, I'm pregnant, right? The first time, very much excited, right? Well, if you go back, like for us, and I've shared this before, it was nervousness because and of course my daughter, like I have already had this conversation with her, right?
She got them radar ears,
bro. The 4-year-old, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, real quick.
Are you all right?
Take care. Hold on, real quick. She bugging.
I feel like I should say something to y'all while I'm sitting here. What's up, everybody? Chat Ninjas assembled. I feel like it was a bit of an awkward silence.
Bruh, she did. Nobody want to talk to you. You want to say hello? Come on.
Yeah, tell her. Let me say hi.
Come on, hello. Here you go.
Hey, cutie, how are you?
Good.
Yeah. What's your name?
Jordana.
What is it?
Jordana.
Jordana. That's a beautiful name.
What do you say?
You are beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're more
You hear
than
that a
welcome.
lot, bro. She hear that a lot. Now, you good now? Okay, thank you.
Bye bye, darling. Bye bye.
I told her, I said, listen, won't I just put you on one day and I just interview you? She's like, nah.
This is what Humble Dad is all about right here. Like these kids, man. That's dope.
That's true. That's true. So that's my young one, Jordana. Hey,
Yeah,
bro,
you got a
that's the
beautiful
one
little
that
girl,
keeps.
man. That's
Huh?
dope, man. I say you got a beautiful little girl, man. That's dope.
I appreciate that, man. All of them are pretty handsome and pretty, man. I'm trying. We're gonna talk about that. I never had that question or talked about that. But as I am parenting them, I have four, 13, 10, 8, and 4. And my 13 and my 10 don't think that they're nice looking kids. Right? I said, okay, first of all, I don't understand that because your mom's pretty and your boy look good. You know what I'm saying? This is what I tell my kids. Right?
Talk that talk, Humble Dad.
This is what I tell, right? I said, so how two nice looking people gonna make an ugly kid? I said it don't work like that.
It don't work like that.
It don't work like that. And so and so like my oldest daughter, she says that she doesn't take people telling her that she's pretty because adults, that's what they supposed to do. That's what she said. She said adult, you see what I'm saying? She said adults be saying stuff like that just to say stuff.
Hey, you're right. We really do, darling. But in actuality, you're a beautiful little girl. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about that's my oldest. My 13-year-old says that.
Oh, I thought you were saying your 4-year-old was saying
no,
this.
my 4-year-old definitely thinks she's pretty.
Okay.
She hears it literally every day.
Okay.
Literally every day. And when we go to church or I take her to school, she hears it at least 3 times before she walks upstairs.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So it's already ingrained in her head.
Yeah.
And then my 10-year-old, well, my girl told me I shouldn't talk too much. I should let y'all talk more. But I'm just sharing with you about this particular point.
It's your show, brother. You do what you want.
Hey, she gonna get at me because I shouted her out like that. I know she gonna get. So my 10-year-old, he's an athlete, right? And he's a handsome dude. He got braids, and he's confident in everything else, but he don't think he's a handsome dude, right? And it's very possible because they're in public school. They're not in public school. They're in homeschool. They've been homeschooled for like 5 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
So the people that they're around are not they're basically around all white people, right? Mm. So not even basically, but they are around white people mostly. And so they don't hear it, like they don't hear it all the time. Like they don't, like if they was in middle school, if they was in school, they would know for sure, right? Because little kids gonna talk, right? Like I told my oldest daughter, I said, little boys will try to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And I told my son, I said, girls will try to talk to you, you know. My 8-year-old though, he says, I asked him, I said, you think you handsome? He said, yeah. I said,
I love it.
I said, who the most handsome in the family, bro? Who looked the best?
Me.
He's like, me.
I like
it. So yeah, man. So that's what's interesting about my 4 kids, because they are all beautiful young people, but the way that they see themselves is something that I have to figure out how to manage, right? You know what I'm saying? Because my Joshua, like I said, he's an athlete, very intelligent. He's like you. I would say he's similar to you in the sense of he will sit back and observe. And you would think that he's that quiet of a dude, but he's all the time he's assessing you. Mm-hmm. He's the dude that believes that he is the best in the room, and you don't even know that he thinks that. Right?
It's a child after my own heart, right? Hey, you spot on with the. Go ahead. I'm gonna keep rocking,
man. This is what I do, bro. Like I assess people. You hear how I talk to people. I talk to them how I see them. You know what I'm saying? It's really what it is. So that's gonna be an interesting process in trying to get them to see he's a humble dude, but he also is the dude that his nickname is Prime Time.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
His nickname is Prime Time. My 8-year-old, his nickname is Superstar. Right? I didn't give them these names, by the way.
Who gave them these names?
Prime Time came from his baseball coach.
Okay.
Because he can play the outfield, he can play whatever base you need to play, but his best position is he plays catcher.
Okay.
And he can see the ball. He can see the ball.
Okay. Shout out to Prime, by the way.
And they had the same birthday, bro.
Him and Prime?
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Prime.
Yeah. And then Ethan, his nickname is Superstar, and he got that from my lady Kendra, because my dude is lanky. He's as tall as his 10-year-old brother. Okay, he's in the 99th percentile of height.
Oh wow!
Okay? So he's as tall as a 10 or 11-year-old kid. So he's lanky, trying to get into his body right now. Right?
Yeah.
He's youngest on his baseball team, coach pitch, right? And he was like the worst batter on the team. Okay. And I was talking to him, real talk, and I shared this on some other lives or whatever. And I was like, dude, you upset that you batting last, but you sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be better, if you want to help your team be better, even though he had an all-star team, I said, you got to practice. And I said, you can't be waiting on me to do no practicing outside of that. And so he started practicing by himself. He would wake up in the morning and he'd go outside and do the batting thing. Before games, he would practice batting. Well, he literally you could see him getting better. The parents of other players saw him getting better. And then there was this one time where he had his coach pitch, but still, right? So he had 2 in the park home runs.
Okay.
And he had a single, and he batted in like 7 players. He batted in 7 runs in that
7
game.
RBIs. Okay.
Yeah, he batted in RBIs, and he got the game ball over all these other superstars that are on the team.
Good shit.
And so when I told my girl Kendra that, she was like, "Oh yeah, your nickname is Superstar, because superstars work hard, and this is the result of you working hard."
Good stuff.
So that's how you got a nickname. Yeah.
Good
so
stuff.
That's my kids and things. And then my oldest daughter Gianna, her specialty is coloring and reading. I have to send you a picture. It's on.
How old is the oldest daughter?
The oldest is 13. She 13. Just turned 13.
13. My bad.
Yeah. She colors like it's crazy, bro. Like it's just mind blowing how she could. She sees colors differently than most people that I could. And how she colors these pictures. And she's an avid reader. You know what I'm saying? She probably reads about 6 to 7 books a week.
Yeah, that sounds like my daughter.
Yeah.
She's like,
and so
if I had her award certificates right here, like it's like read most books throughout the school year. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
So you're able to articulate with her very well. Like she's articulate.
Yeah, which is why I can't let her slide when she does something ridiculous. Because she knows.
Exactly.
The reading comprehension is next level, darling. You got all the awards for it. But now you're gonna try to act like you don't understand what I'm talking about. Cut it out.
So we have similar daughters in that case, because Gianna, she recognizes all jokes, bro. Adult jokes, like, so if we watch a show and they say something explicit, she look at me because she know, like she got these context clues and everything. So she's that type of young lady, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And she also cooks for the family now. And so I pay her like $100 a month, because she cooks and prepares meals to help me out and help out the family. So that's her. And then you just saw the little one. Like she is
adorable. She's adorable.
I appreciate that, man. She also gets in trouble a lot. She gets in trouble a lot. There was one day there was 3 days that she didn't get in trouble. That never happened before. So, but anyway, so all my kids are pretty cool. So as you get to the point, like now, you're like, I'm about to be a dad, and you wreck it to a second time, and you find out that it's a boy.
So okay, so let's back up. So when I first found out when my wife was actually pregnant. So I was in Boston. I just come home from Boston. My mom was really, really sick. My late mother. She was like really, really, really sick. Cancer and some other things.
Yeah.
So I was making, trips back and forth to Boston because she's up there by herself. You know what I mean? So I'm, up there taking care of her, taking care of like her medical stuff, back and forth hospital, like all kinds of stuff. She was in the ICU. She left one ICU to go to another ICU to go to another ICU. So I was there for like, multiple times and then be like 10 days at a time or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, when I come back from the first trip, that's when my wife tells me, I'm pregnant. I'm like, oh shit. Like, I'm like geeked up because we had been trying for some time, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I'm like geeked up. And then something, we both knew that it was going to be a boy. It was like we felt it. We had been saying it, and I'm not even kidding around. Like, we had been saying it like maybe a couple days after she told me. I was like, it's going to be a boy, bro. And she was like, I think it's going to be a boy too. I was like, yeah, it just feels like he's just going to be a boy. I don't know what it was. I swear to you, I don't.
Yeah. And
then when we were in the, we were at the OBGYN and she's getting the, I can't remember what it's called, to determine the sex of the child.
Yeah.
We're just sitting in there waiting and waiting and waiting. It's doc, man, that kind of pissed me off because they had us in there waiting for a long time. And then the nurses come in, you're like, what are you guys waiting for? Oh, we're just trying to find out the sex. Oh, it's a boy. We could have told you that a long time ago. I'm like, oh, geeked up. You know what I'm saying? Because we both wanted a boy. You know what I mean? So, and we had both been thinking it. So yeah, nah. Yeah. When I found out I was a boy, it's like I'm gonna show you the world, kid. Like, which, and it's just so it's like real. Like I said, it's real sad to say, man. But the difference between my son being born and my daughter being born was just on two completely different planets. I mean, it's like, it's really sad, bro. Like, it is really sad. Like I remember every step process when it came down to being a part of, my wife being pregnant, us hiring a doula, us hiring a midwife, vetting them, determining whether or not we wanted you all to be on our team, right? Because we decided that we weren't going to have the baby in a hospital. We were going to have him here at home with us. We were going to do a water birth here in the house. So, just going through the entire process, like, it was just super dope, right? All the way up until like the day my wife water breaks, I mean, we had been up all day hanging out and, just kicking it, doing regular day stuff. And it was like, I think it was like around like 1 o'clock in the morning. That's when our water breaks. And I'm like, oh, not now. The timing, dog. But
you can't do nothing about it.
They couldn't do nothing about it. But, we thugged it out. You know what I mean? Got the pool. Oh, we called up the doula. It was just a little bit of time before she ended up having to be there. Midwife, same thing. They working on the breathing and all these different things, that the procedures that we know to do, that we have been training to do prior to this. You know what I mean? They get the pool here. We get the pool filled up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we got the candles lit. We got the affirmation stuff up on the walls. You know what I'm saying? We got she in the bathtub. I'm massaging her with the lavender oils and all that. You know what I mean? Like, it was like we got, it's a real emotional thing, man, because we incorporated things like even my mom, like me and my mom's favorite song together is Cruising by Smokey Robinson, right? Like that's our jam, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm playing that in the background while you know what I'm saying, giving a massage and everything, and trying to keep her all the way comfortable. She going back and forth between the tub and then like going to the bed or whatever. And the last time that she ended up going to the bed, it was just like he came out. And the bond there is different than what I have with my daughter. I was the first person on this earth to put hands on that boy and pull him out, right?
Yeah.
The umbilical cord was wrapped twice around his neck. We unwrapped it. I'm the one that's cutting the umbilical cord. I hand him to his mom. You know what I mean? Like, there's an eternal bond there that'll can never be like cut because of just that right there alone, which is why I tell young men, like, if you think I'm just telling you just like, oh, so you don't have no baby mama problems and stuff like that, that's not it, bro. If you bringing kids into this world, you want these types of bonds with them that they can never be broken. This is a psychological thing, right? It's deeper than just you touching something. It's way deeper, right? So, yeah. Anyways, back on track, and
you're on track, bro.
My son was actually born 6 days prior to me retiring. So he was born on February 22nd. I retired February 28th. My first day as a civilian was March 1st, 2021.
Wow.
So every single day he wakes up,
come on, boss.
He's hanging with me.
Yes, sir.
Right? I ain't have to go work for anybody.
Hanging with Mr. Quest, not Mr. Cooper. Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and he baby Quest. So we kicking it. You know what I mean? Every day, all day. What we doing? We going to the park. What we doing? We riding on bikes, and I got him a little bike seat. What we doing? You know,
You got the bike seat, like the one that's
not on the back. I got the joint that's in the front.
Okay.
So if you like, the handlebars is out in front of me, he's sitting like right in front of me. So like if he start dozing off, I can like hold him with one hand and still cruise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah. Like that's super dope. That's our time together. And then on that bike ride, every single time I play Cruising by Smokey Rick.
Yeah, boss. Yeah, boss. Listen, this is one of the reasons why I do the show, bro, because dudes don't get to have that conversation. Well, you could, but like, when would it come up? You know what I'm saying? Like about like the experience of holding your kid. I mean, when I got the whole all mine, you know what I'm saying? And mine is from one woman. You know what I'm saying? Well, but don't get it like, but I had a past where it could have been something totally different.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you're talking about what you're saying about, man, you want to be it'll be better to be married to have your kids. You know what I'm saying? We understand the situations are what they are, but that's the best opportunity right there. You know, and for one, not just because you get to hold your kid, there's a sense of peace. There's a different peace in your mind when you're here with the kid that's yours and you get to hold. Like for me, when I tell this story all the time, when I held for the first time Gianna, I broke down and cried, bro. Like I just couldn't contain myself, and I was excited and upset at the same time. And the reason why I was upset was because my dad left me. And I was like, how in the world could you leave something like this? You know what I'm saying? And so it had been my path and my mission to not be like him.
Right.
Sometimes to a fault, right? Because I'm trying so hard. And so I thank you for giving me that story. So, because I always ask that question for men to take me through the process of when you had your kid and what that was like. And for you had a water birth, so you was more active, I would assume, than what I was, because we had a C-section. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. So now that he's with you, what are some things that you see in him that you see in yourself? You like my transition? You like
That boy turned up. You know what I'm saying? That boy turned up. Like, he don't want to listen sometimes. You know what I mean? You know, that's my little partner. But sometimes I be like, hey, bro, chill out, man. Chill out, bro. You won. Okay. When you get with this, it continues and you get to be 10, man, we gonna be You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be in there throwing them blows, you know.
Bruh.
Nah, he's straight though. Like he's a real happy kid,
Okay.
right? So like if you can't pick up from me being on Lapeef, I've always been a clown. I've always been the class clown. I've always been a jokester, a prankster. I've always been that dude, right? Like
Yeah.
it's all fun and games for me. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I was always in trouble because I was having too much fun.
That sound like me, bro. It's
You know
good.
what I'm saying? So he liked to have fun. I don't know if you can hear him in the back right now, but he's like, like, what are you laughing at, bro? Go to sleep, bro.
That's what's up. That is dope, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know, for me, like some of my kids have different elements of me, and like she's the one that's, you know, very, what's the word I would say? She is the one that is trying to correct you. You know what I'm saying? Think she know everything. You know, I have that issue at times that you could probably hear when I'm talking on Lapeef. I always feel like what I'm saying is right, everybody else is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but I just don't see where you're right.
That ain't it though.
And I'm working on that. I'm better now than I was when I was younger.
Yeah.
Joshua, he's an athlete. I was an athlete. Ethan, he's sensitive. I'm sensitive, but people wouldn't know it. You know what I'm saying? because I'm a grown man, so I know how to hide it, so to speak, in most regards. Where he wears it on his sleeve. You know what I'm saying? And then Jordy, she's cool with being in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's cool with being in front of people. She'll act like she's shy, but she really just wants your attention. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't do that, but that's what she does.
Right. I got you.
So yeah, so those are the things that kind of connect us, or that I see in them that I see in me. So as you become a dad, your dad, he's one. What have you learned about yourself?
So I've learned that my patience, I have more patience with my son than I did with my daughter. I was younger when my daughter was born. So it's like I have a little bit more patience. It ain't all the way there where I need to be, but I'm striving for that though. You know what I mean? But patience is one. It kind of helps me like slow down even more. Like the beauty of being retired is it gives you options, right? Okay. I got the option to just be like, I don't need to be on go so much. As a special forces operator, right? Like you're on go. You're like, you're on go all the time. You know what I mean? Pipe hitting, training, jumping out of airplanes, fast roping out of helicopters, hitting targets, you know, extracting, doing all kinds of stuff, right? And you're going 90,000 miles an hour. He helps me just like, let's just chill. Like, don't feel like doing nothing today? We're just gonna run around the house and go out there on the patio and go outside, blow some bubbles. We just cool. We slow motion. All right, we slow motion. Let's take it easy, right? And that's like, I love that. I absolutely love that.
That's what's up, man. This has been good, man. I'm trying. I'm like, I got to come to a close because I respect your time, you know.
Oh, good.
But your insight is dope because you're you have both spectrums to kind of pull from, right?
Yeah.
And I don't often have that be able to have those conversations with the different spectrums, and so I'm just intrigued because you recognize who you were when you was younger, and now you're trying to mentor individuals to not necessarily do what you did before, but do what you're doing now.
Right.
Where did that come from? Like, what made you want to be, I guess, the OG that steers in a different direction? As far as my concern, I would say in a positive direction. Whereas some OGs be like, "Hey, you need to just go ahead and get what it is that you want."
Right. Oh man. I think that just came from really thinking introspectively, like late in life. I wasn't always like this, right? Like I'll say I didn't start getting like this until maybe like the past 6 years, 7 years, something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I like before I was just a grinder, right? Like I'm out here. I was kind of living. I would suggest a little selfishly, right? Like I'm out here getting it. Like I, be the best Green Beret, right? Get to the best unit within Special Forces. Like all these things, like head down, grind it out, grind it out. Wasn't really thinking about this out here. And then I started thinking a little bit introspectively. It's like I want more for myself. I want more for my people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, like I'd say within the like past 6 years. And I think it may be a little earlier than that. I'm just kind of throwing a number out there, but it was somewhere around like 6, 7, 8 years ago, whatever. And I think it was when, when Trayvon Martin got killed, it kind of like, whoa, hold up. Like, no, I can't just be thinking about me. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole sect of people that look like me, and things are happening to them. Some of it is on their own because of them. Some of it ain't, and that's kind of what I want to hone in on.
Okay.
And I was like, nah, nope. It's more than just me. It's more than just me and, my daughter and, at the time, girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
It like, nah. So then I don't know. I think I just kind of dove head first into my people, and it was just like, which I got hit upside the head a couple times, just going head first. But overall, I think it was the best thing that I could have done because that turned me into what it is that I am right now.
Facts. I can see that. That makes sense. And so for me, that's what, because I was similar to yourself, that I was definitely all about myself. And for me specifically, not until I gave my life to Christ, like I think I had to be like 25, 26, because even when I lived in India, it was about me. You know what I'm saying? I came back and I was like, man, I need to go ahead and get married. If I want to have a family, I got to get married. You know what I'm saying? Right. If I want to do X, Y, and Z, it starts there, right? And so, and then at that time, when I got back in the church, then I started being a part of a Christian rap group, right? And so,
wait, Humble Dad, you was a Christian rapper, dog?
Yes, bro.
All right, you're gonna have to drop at the end of this. I know this your show, but you're gonna drop. At least give me a quick 16. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, okay. I give you a little bit, and if I'm whack, I'm cool with that. Okay, I have no problem with that. And so I began to see the influence that I had over kids, and so then I was a youth pastor, right? And then I became a teacher, and then the reason why I became a teacher was because I saw how influential I was with kids and was able to relate to kids in a particular way. And so for me, that's when I thought, man, okay, I want to change I want to change the generation. And I know that it's going to start in the schools because that's what they're trying to do right now, is trying to influence them through the school.
Right.
And then as I began to be more mature, I said, man, I got to try to impact some men. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to be reached right now as opposed to waiting years and years, you know what I'm saying, until they understand what it is that they need to do. And so I was a youth leader at my church for like high school dudes.
Okay.
Right. And then and so then I started teaching at the college, and so then I think it was it may have been during Barack, or it may have been Trayvon Martin. I can't remember. But it was a time where I was like, oh man, I feel like Black people are missing something. They're missing something. How can I be a part of the solution as opposed to just falling back and doing nothing? And so one of those things that I had planned on doing, that's why I went to go get my doctorate degree, because I had planned on teaching at the collegiate level because I wanted to be like I'm cool in any space. You know what I'm saying? Any ethnicity, and I want you to see I want you to see a different black dude. Like you used to these other dudes that's on TV or whatever, or maybe out and about. Like I'm not them. So I want it to be that representation that they never saw before. And so that's what my journey has been, and just educating myself. And then King Talk is just is a blessing.
Yeah. King Talk is super dope. I love that.
You know what I'm saying? And then, being able to talk to men while dudes are listening, and young dudes are listening, and women are listening, it all kind of is full circle for me right now. You know what I'm saying? And then I got 2 sons and 2 daughters. Similar to what you said. And then I'm gonna ask you these questions, and we're gonna get out of here. Okay. I want men and women to understand Quest when he said, you're looking with the end in mind of what you want your kid to be. So you say, I want my son to be this type of dude. I want my daughter to be this type of woman. So I'm doing what I need to do now. So what that looks like is that, as a parent, that you are literally raising somebody's husband and you're raising somebody's wife. If you have that in mind, hopefully that allows you to think and do things differently and get out of that narrative of do as I say and not as I do.
Right.
So, and I got that from Kirk Cameron that was on Growing Pains, that you're raising somebody's husband and you're raising somebody's wife. You know what I'm saying? So transition to these last moments of questions. All so right. you got to give me a number between, let me see. We're gonna give you between 20 and 35. Give me a number between 20 and 35.
27.
Everybody always choose that number. How did you meet your spouse and know she was the one?
I always like this story because it's just funny, right? So we had a mutual friend's. I got you. We had a mutual friend's going away party. So in the military, people always having to change duty stations and go different places or whatever. So when that time comes, we throw like a little going away for them. This base family here, and you about to go hang out with some other folks at a whole nother base, whatever.
Yeah.
So the dude that was throwing this party, his brother from New Orleans, so he can really get into them pots, like for real. Okay. So this man had the full spread. He had the etouffees, he had the jambalayas, he had the gumbos. This man he getting them pots. You hear me? So he got the kitchen lined up with like all these different things. Now I'm posted up in the kitchen, right? And when I came in the door, instant trash talk, right? Instant trash talk. Well, anyways, later on, I'm standing in the kitchen. I'm one of them dudes. I got me my little plate like this big right here. Little small little plates. That way I can just grab me a little bit, grab me a little bit, and just sit in the corner and just chomp, 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 chomp. I don't look like I'm getting out of control, right? Because I got this little plate. So I'm sitting there doing this, and then I see this girl walk by, or woman, whatever, girl walk by, and dad.
Yeah.
She had a plate this big, Sheldon. She had a plate this big. Listen to me. And that, hey, look, and that thing was mounded up with food. You hear me? So I just looked and being my normal self, like, God damn, girl, you hungry? And she looked at me, she was like, nigga, shut your goat mouth ass up. I was like, but I had the heart eye emojis right then, because one of the things I've always liked is somebody who can just be witty with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just chop it with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like me being, the clown all the time, this was familiar. So, and then I could hear her, like, she from the South, even more familiar. And it's just like, I gotta get to know who this girl is. So later that night, I got her telephone number. I think I probably may have waited a week or two or some shit like that before I actually hit her. I don't even know why. I was stupid, but I ended up hitting her up on the phone or whatever. And I think at this point I was down in West Palm Beach. She was in Atlanta because we were on like our holiday leave. So we had like 2-3 weeks, go home and stuff like that. So I'm literally chopping it up with her for like 3 weeks to a month before we actually go out together, right? And it's been music since then. You know?
That's music.
Yeah.
It's been music.
It's
Hey
been
man,
music.
shout out to Kendra, bro. My girl, like she be scoring, bro.
She be what?
She be scoring, like we said in the South. Like she be she be scoring on your boy. Like she'll talk crazy to you.
Oh yeah.
She got that. Hey, she got that mouthpiece that they just break you down, bro.
Which is crazy because my wife don't even really be doing that no more. But like right then, she had me, dog.
Listen, that's old goat. Listen.
Yeah, she got me.
She reached deep into.
She got it.
That's what's up. Hey, give me another number, Doc. 20 to 35.
Let's do 20. Let's do 20.
What were your favorite things to do as a kid?
Oof. Climb mango trees, eat the mangoes while I'm up in the tree, and drop the hulls on the ground. What I didn't say was I was jumping in people's backyards, climbing their mango trees. So they'll come knocking on my grandma's door like, hey, tell Austin to stay out my mango trees because we'll be tearing the mangoes up, leave seeds and mango hulls on the ground, bro. That was one of my favorite things to do. That and then like toss up and tackle. We used to play that. I don't know what y'all call it. I think some people call it something different. But yeah, toss up and tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was well, I'll go share, man. Listen, that was the thing, bro. That was the thing, man. All right, last number.
Let's do 22.
What was the first album or CD you ever bought?
Ooh. That I bought.
Yeah.
What was the first CD I bought? So it was actually a tape. It wasn't a CD. Showing my age there. It was a tape, and it was the Marshall Mathers LP. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And it was timing. It was timing. I think it just dropped, and I was like, I want that. Boop. And it was jamming.
Well, those are the last questions, man. All those that are paying attention, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go holler at Quest over there on his IG. You can catch him on King Talk. What else? You like on like 800 other shows?
Nah, I'm on King Talk. I'm on Lapeefing Sundays, and then I'm on the live show, the Thursday live show. Yeah,
Thursday live show. Okay, for sure. So we got two last questions.
Lapeef, let's talk. My bad.
Lapeef, let's talk.
Lapeef, let's talk.
Absolutely. Listen, man. Why is Island Girl Q, man? Why she here for this? Like you can not. Okay.
Yeah. Hold him accountable, Island Girl Q. He said he was gonna give me 16.
I'll give you 16, bro. I'll do it right before we get out. Okay. All right. So, which TV dad would you say that you share the same characteristics with?
So, his name is John Clark, right? John Clark was played by Michael B. Jordan in the movie Without Remorse. In the movie, he's a Navy SEAL, and his family gets killed. Like his wife and child get killed, and his determination and relentlessness to find and to make them pay is like that sits very close with me. Like I love my family to no end, and I would go to the end of the fucking earth, man. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
You're good, bro.
I would go to the end of the earth for them. You know what I mean? So that's who I closely relate to. And then, like I said, I'm a special operator. He was a special operator. He had been to wars. I'd been to wars. You know, it was very familiar.
I remember that movie. Was that when he was in the house and they came in? Okay.
Yep.
That was a good movie. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And the last question is, how would you want to be remembered by your kids? What would you want them to say about you?
Man, Dad really set us up. That was funny. He was fun, and he really set us up. He was tough and stern at times.
Yeah,
but he really set us up. That's been my goal was to just create generational wealth, and I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna continue to do it until I die. And I want my kids to just be able to say, "Oh my God, like we're good to go. Like we're set up. Thank you, Dad. You have put us ahead of the pack."
That's dope. Thank you for sharing, man. I appreciate that. And what words would you have to say before we get out of here? I'm gonna go after you. I typically let the guests have the last words, but you know, you actually the first person to ask me to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, have you ever told anybody else that you was a Christian rapper at one point?
Yes, I told my students, and several people that I've interviewed knew though. And when I told JR and JB when we was in Houston, you know what I'm saying, they went to go listen to the music. So that was the last time. But whatever, man.
So closing remarks, man. See if I can get through this without falling apart.
If you do, it's okay, bro.
To my daughter, I love you more than all the moon and the stars and the planets in this universe. You are going through some rough times right now. I love you, and I'm always here. Always. That's all I got.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. That I'm gonna send you this. I mean, you'll have it too, though. You know what I'm saying? You can do what you will to send it to her. I think that's a big deal for kids to know. That I'm willing to say this in front of everybody. And whoever will listen.
Yeah.
What I did to my kids, you know, I sing them I love you songs. You know, and I put their name in it. And I'm thinking they're not gonna like it because it's so cheesy. Right? So cheesy. It is. And they will say, I said, "Do you like that song?" They're like, "Yes." All four of them will say they like the song.
Because you sing it.
Because I'm singing it. And I'm telling them that I love them in the song. I'm off key and everything. You know what I'm saying? And so this past Sunday we was at church. Before that, I said, "Hey, Gianna, listen, I'm gonna say I love you in front of everybody at the church." She's like, "Dad, don't do it." Oh, you didn't tell me not to do it?
Definitely doing it now.
and people know me at the church, so they're not gonna like, who is this dude acting like that?
Right.
So she in line. We have a coffee shop at the church. She in line, and I'm sitting down. I'm probably about 25 feet away from her. Right? I say, "Gianna, how you doing?" She said, "Hey, Dad." I said, "I love you, Gianna." I said, he was like, "Dad." I said, "I told you I was gonna do it. I don't understand the surprise."
Hey, you gave it a warning. That's what we call the warning order.
I told her the day before. You know, you should have tried to hide. You know?
Right.
For sure. So yeah, that's what I do, and you know, I really appreciate you, bro. Let me go and get y'all these 16. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, here this was from a song that we call "We Ride," and this was, I was in a group called Red Ink Army, and it was like back in 2010, bro. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it goes like this. For sale sign on my heart shows I need a buyer. They laughing at me because my life resembled flat tires. Before the purchase, he checked me for loose wires. Changed my life tags before they expired. Nails crossed thorns, blood is how I was acquired. Since the exchange, my blue book doubled in value. Windows rolled down, call his name even louder. Comes when I need him, like Kit from Knight Rider. Floor Matt Slainer, the face of Jehovah Jireh. God, my provider, he's my designated driver. Together we ride, others stop and admire. His love so deep, I call him the insider. Got a grip on my life like it was a steering column. He's known as the way, so I sit back and follow. I'm going to a place that's spiritually higher. Interior match exterior is what he requires. So
okay. You showing your age though with the Night Rider bar. I'm gonna just throw that out there. It's a lot of y'all young boys don't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I was fire, humble dad.
I appreciate that, homie.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Well, I appreciate your time. If you want to stay on and talk, that's cool. If you got to go, that's not a problem. But this has been dope, man. I appreciate the time. Sorry, I held you back a little bit.
Nah, you good. Nah, hey, salute, humble dad. Appreciate you for having me, man. Thank you so much. Bro.
Absolutely, man.
Yes, sir.
And to everybody out there, man, listen, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, all that jazz, and go talk to Quest.
Hey, Chat Ninjas, make sure y'all like and subscribe.
All right, bet.
Later.
Deuces.